Joining us now is Tafadzwa Madavo, who's from Riversands Incubation Hub, for more on SME development and black business empowerment. And it couldn't have come at a better time, I would say, after the ratings review that we saw on Friday by Moody's. Policy uncertainty, economic growth, which really is essentially calling for the creation of jobs. Let's talk about the Riversands Innovation Hub and really where it fits in plugging in those jobs and the entrepreneurship that we need to be seeing in the country.
Thank you for having me. So I think it's a very positive move. The rating agency really did something, I think, that's really positive for small to medium enterprises. The role that Riversands Incubation Hub plays is basically trying to facilitate the bridge between those who haven't been able to participate in the economy and trying to encourage a higher level of participation in the economy. So one of your guests mentioned inclusive growth. The idea is to stimulate growth and be a little more inclusive. So the role that Riversands Incubation Hub plays is by offering incubation services to small to medium enterprises or individuals who are looking at actually entering into entrepreneurship or small business. The role we play is offering a number of small to medium enterprise services. Our most prolific would be premises, which are ranging from your 50 meters squared all the way up to 200 meters squared, but it's offered and structured in such a manner that it's for small to medium enterprises. So you're looking at it probably being in the market rate 120 Rand per square meter for premises in the commercial rate. And then with Riversands Incubation Hub, it's about 60 Rand per square meter. So it's highly subsidized. On top of that, we structured it in such a manner whereby you're looking at, in commercial property, you're looking at a 3-year lease. Now with Riversands Incubation Hub, you can actually take on a year, month-to-month lease, a year lease. And if you're now looking at a situation where business is not working out or you can't take on that cost, you can actually just retract with a 1-month notice and go on your way. So we understand the dynamics and what it means to run businesses, and we've structured our offering specifically for those businesses.
Right, you do get the sense that the Ramaphoria is a bug that is catching everyone, literally. And but tomorrow the President will be launching the Youth Employment Service. Now, would I be right in assuming that you're actually working hand in hand with the government, or you're trying to reinvent the wheel?
So the launch is actually at our premises. That's one thing. So we have a big part to play within this whole economic youth employment, job creation. I think we're probably a small cog in this big, massive wheel. But the idea is that we all need to come and play a part. Yep. So we are a part of this whole initiative to a large extent. And I think every institution or organization that's working within the incubation or small business development landscape is playing a role within that particular initiative.
You're having conversations with these young entrepreneurs all the time, and apart from issues of office space that you've spoken about and the costs that are associated with that, there are other issues that they are faced with, particularly when it comes to red tape and regulatory issues. Talk to us a little bit about that and really the incubation's role in changing the situation for young black entrepreneurs in the country.
So yes, you're right. Premises is probably one out of many service offerings that we have. So look, we're not naive to the fact that we can't necessarily offer everything. So we've partnered with a number of institutions, with the likes of CIFA and the NEF, who are actually on campus to offer individuals who are having issues with, let's say, access to financing. We're looking at partnering with a number of organizations in the corporate sector to actually try and facilitate market access. So it's a platform that's trying to generate an ecosystem that tries to facilitate the challenges beyond just premises. Ourselves, we're also looking at offering things such as marketing support, your back office support, your growth and learning platforms to try and ensure some level of growth and inclusive growth within the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating insights, indeed. But I was going to ask you about the informal sector, because it does employ a whole lot of people, but everyone wants to sit down and have a fancy dress like what you are here. How do you include those guys?
I think you need to realize that our criteria of bringing people in is not necessarily very selective. Look, yes, if you're trying to access things such as premises and it's a subsidized rate, you can't afford it, that's one of our offerings. But we offer this, our service offering is for everyone, including those who are in the informal sector. Unfortunately, we may not necessarily be able to go to where they are, which would make it a lot more accessible. But what we can do is actually offer the services if they're actually able to come on site. So we do try and accommodate those within the informal sector. In actual fact, our location is right next to Diepsloot, which is, a lot of businesses are within the informal sector there.